All right, we are live, and so far my internet hasn't crashed yet.
That's good.
Great.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks, Anthony, and thanks. Welcome everybody, and welcome especially Nick. How's it going, Nick?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me on, Ryan. It's pronounced Ryan. Like it's not Ryan. I know that, but it's like Ryan, like Orion. I'm guessing.
Yeah, Ryan like lion. And
Okay.
if you're in Utah, then you can say like Zion as well, because
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I was in Utah last year. So was Anthony. We're at Remix
That's right.
Conf, a framework
Oh.
conference for web development. So, yeah,
very
really
nice. You weren't in Utah for the Epic Web conference, were you?
No, couldn't make that one, but I heard it was a banger. I heard from
What
I mean,
comps have you done
I'm sure
this year?
Yeah. I've been to a local one. I gave 2 talks at confu.ca. I was at React Miami in, when was that? Not late April. Yeah, I think it was, late April. And then so far for the rest of the year, I'm going to All Things Open. I'm giving a talk there in October. It's from October 27th to 29th. I do have another conference I'm going to, but I can't mention it yet because it's not public. Yeah, pretty excited. Seems to be the year of I'm finally getting to give in-person talks, because I've given conference talks before, but they've all been virtual, or I've done like panels and stuff. So
I've done
just trying to put
a lot
myself
of virtual
out there.
stuff.
Yeah. No, it's just funny because people for some reason just assume I've given a ton of in-person conference talks, and that I was like, until January or February, I was like, nope, 0. Like, so pretty excited.
Cool. All right. Well, let's give some listeners a little bit of context of what we're doing here. We are going through, we're continuing our tutorial series. What do we call it, Anthony? Dash Walkthroughs. Dash Platform Walkthroughs.
Okay.
And we've got Nick here. So you're the second guinea pig here, Nick. And we've got a tutorial that we want to introduce people to Dash Platform, but also I'd like people to have at least a surface level understanding of what Dash itself is as well. And I want to get to know you a little bit, Nick, as well. So Nick, why don't you tell us who you are and how Anthony roped you into this, and what you're doing here.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Nick Taylor from Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Been primarily a web dev, but I'll just say software developer, engineer professionally since 2002. First 2/3 of my career was more in the .NET ecosystem, and then I was super interested in open source, and I always loved JavaScript. So in 2016, I got in early on like TypeScript and React. So basically went on that whole Node.js, JavaScript, TypeScript, open source train, and that's kind of where I've continued on. Little side note though, .NET did go open source eventually, so kudos to them.
But real quick, what's funny about this is if you switch .NET for Java, this is the story Monarch told yesterday. You two have very similar backgrounds, that you came up through that world and then hit React and TypeScript and were like there at the ground floor. And now it's like years and years later, like, yeah, it's JavaScript.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like people are talking about TypeScript now, like, oh, you should get into it. And it's been around since 2012, like literally 12, almost 13 years now. And yeah, I got started with it in 2015, I think, fall of 2015. And it was way different landscape than no type inference. You had to explicitly type everything. We were using VS Code because I was at a Microsoft shop, and VS Code literally used to just be an editor. There was no extensions, nothing. It was literally like Notepad on steroids that only supported TypeScript or JavaScript. It was fun though. And yeah, then basically, I got interested in open source, and then I've been working professionally in open source, like i.e. getting paid to work in open source since January 2020. Worked at a company called Dev2, which is a popular programming blogging platform. And then after that, Netlify, and now I'm at Open Sauce, working in open source, spreading the love, trying to stay saucy, So
that's great. Yeah, that's a nice pedigree here. Dev2 is, that's a huge platform. Anthony, can you drop a link to that, by the way, and give us the link to the YouTube and drop it in our Discord so that people can join us if they want to. And then Nick, let's go ahead and bring up your screen share and show people what we're going to be working on.
Yeah, I think you got to bring it in for me, Anthony.
I think I can do that, actually.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. I'll zoom in a bit here for people catching the stream, or both of you. Just let me know. I'll definitely zoom in my editor too. Yeah. So I guess do you want to kind of give me the lowdown of what we're going to be doing today, Ryan?
Yeah. So I want you to actually tell me what do you know about cryptocurrency? What's your familiarity, love, hate, whatever you want to say about cryptocurrency background, and then do you know anything about Dash as well? And then if you don't, then I'll give you a little bit of a baseline.
Cool. Even though I'm not in the crypto space at the moment, it's kind of funny. I have, for context, Quebec, where I live, the province in Canada, they have the cheapest electricity in Canada, and we typically sell a lot of electricity to New England. And so basically a lot of people that because also marijuana is legalized in Canada now. So basically a lot of people are growing marijuana in Quebec, and also there is a lot of crypto mining farms here. And I actually, one of the guys that played rugby with, he runs these farms and stuff, and he ran into this issue at one point where, like, I don't know if you've ever been to an actual crypto farm, but basically you have to set each one up, like say this is going to mine this particular coin and stuff. And we're talking like he had hundreds and then eventually thousands of machines, and he couldn't do this manually. So I basically wrote some software that he's since evolved, but basically it would provision this configuration for each server, like in his network with like a Raspberry Pi. And it's kind of funny because I literally had a Litecoin server in my garage one winter to build this out. Okay. So I didn't have to heat my garage, basically.
That's awesome. But, I was just thinking, the marijuana growing and crypto mining, they could probably combine those to be a pretty cool combination with all the heat that the miners throw off.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Mine some coins, heat up the marijuana, keep it nice and warm. But I digress. That's like one. That's just like I thought an interesting story. But in terms of like me actually in the crypto space, I dug into it a little bit. I can't remember the name of the program. It's called Nights and Weekends now, but before it was called something else. And they were doing these like, let's build a DApp. And then like 2 weeks later, it was like, let's build another one. And it was like building off of a different chain and stuff. And I was starting to get a little bit bored with work. And so like I found these interesting, not necessarily because it was cryptocurrency related.
Is that it?
Yeah, no, it's not that. What's it? It's gonna come to me, but anyways, like I was a little less interested in like, okay, I'm building it for this particular chain and stuff. For me, it was just interesting to build something. And funnily enough, that work I did for my friend, he actually paid me in Bitcoin, which was kind of cool because I was like, I'm never gonna buy cryptocurrency. So he said, "Can I pay you in Bitcoin?" So I was like,
"That's Ryan's whole thing." Was it Build Space?
Yes, thank you. Build Space. Yes, yeah, yeah. And I joined Developer DAO that Nader Dabbit started, and
I'm a Developer DAO.
Okay, I'm still in there, but like to be frank, I haven't been in there really in like the past 2 years probably, and so that's kind of like and I have purchased some cryptocurrency, just curious about these things, and but and there was some opportunities potentially working in the space, but in the end I decided to stay in Web 2 land. And to be honest, we talked about this a little briefly before the stream, Ryan, but there's obviously some bad rap about Web3, like you
don't say.
Yeah, rug pulls, all the NFT stuff, like Bored Apes, like there's a lot of stuff. I don't know. The way I would summarize it is I think decentralized is a great idea. I think right now, to me at least, from what I experienced back then, is it's too slow at the moment, and people are creating layers on top of it to make it appear faster. And there's obviously a bad wrap up around a lot of it. And that's kind of how I'd summarize it. I don't know if that's a good enough summary, but
yep, yeah, that's good background. Good. I just like to know who I'm talking to and what kind of experience they have. So I guess we'll jump into the tutorial, and I will help give context about how Dash compares to some things that you might have been familiar with when you were playing around with some dApps and whatnot.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll just jump right in. And Anthony was saying, and I agree, we'll probably kind of let you go through this, and we'll just kind of take a step back and to see if you have any questions, great, we're here. But yeah, we'll just let you, do your work.
Okay, cool. Sounds
We'll
good.
let you cook.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and cook. And like I was mentioning, or Anthony mentioned, I do live stream pretty frequently my own work. So I'm probably going to go through the tutorial, but I'll probably talk some things through while I'm just going through it. So I guess I do have one question before I get started. So
sure.
So Dash is a cryptocurrency, so there's a coin behind it. But what chain is it on, or is it based off of another coin? Like, is it based off of like Solana or Bitcoin, or I don't know, maybe probably not Dogecoin, but
it is based on Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin fork, is how it started, but it forked so long ago, it now is its own thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So cryptocurrencies, they're organized in a certain way where you have what are called so-called layer one cryptocurrencies, where that cryptocurrency will have its own blockchain, its own network of nodes running the blockchain, running the software. Bitcoin, for example, is the prime example. And then there's Ethereum, and those are completely separate networks. They don't talk to each other at all. They're not aware of each other. Dash is, then you mentioned Litecoin. That's completely separate, layer one, L1. Dash is the same, completely separate, L1. And then things like Ethereum, they'll have like a token ecosystem where you'll have tons of different tokens that are built on top of Ethereum. So that's what you're thinking of when you have in Solana, same thing. You'll have different token ecosystems built on top of it. But Dash is its own independent layer one blockchain, its own network, completely independent of these. And it doesn't not currently have any kind of token layers on top of it, but Dash Platform is the first kind of pieces to building something like that potentially. But one of the distinguishing features of Dash Platform, I'll give you, since you're not too aware of the cryptocurrency structure, I will say this. So Dash has a layer one blockchain that's a proof of work coin, and then it has a separate blockchain that is a proof of stake chain. So the classic example of a proof of stake chain right now, the most popular one would be Ethereum. Although Ethereum started as proof of work, it's now proof of stake, completely proof of stake. So Dash has both. It has a proof of work chain and a proof of stake chain. And the proof of stake chain is basically operated by a subset of the nodes that are operating the proof of work chain. So if you picture this network of different nodes operating this blockchain, a subset of that are required to show that they all operate a certain number of, they all hold a certain number of Dash. So say 1,000 Dash or 4,000 Dash. Right now, what we're dealing with is a test network. And so none of this is live and public on a main net. So the tokens that we're working with, the coins that we're working with, have zero market value. It's all a subset of basically it's a provisioned network that's operated by Dash core group, and it's just meant to kind of test out the features. So later, these nodes will be the nodes that are running the proof of stake network and blockchain. They will be what we call collateralized by 4,000 Dash. You have to have 4,000 Dash to operate one of these nodes and to be considered authoritative as a network participant. But that's not the case right now. Right now, since we're on a test network, it's just, I think maybe, I want to say 20 to 100, something like that. Computers that are running this software, and they're all operated by one organization. So absolutely not decentralized, but the code works in the same way that the mainnet will work. So that's the context of this.
Okay. Sounds good. And I'll start the tutorial in a second. One more question I had was, so it's a fork of Bitcoin, and that's why the proof of work exists still, because that's what most things were. And then, like, is that only there for legacy reasons? Because proof of stake is
there for security.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are
so
different opinions and different, I guess, facts as well about proof of work security versus proof of stake security. And I just wanted to be clear about one thing. When Anthony's saying forked from Bitcoin, what he means is the code base is forked from Bitcoin. That would be opposed to something like a network fork where there was Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash forked from Bitcoin.
Yeah, or Ethereum and Ethereum Classic.
Okay, literal code versus the
Yeah. So this is no more than
started a new one with it.
Yeah. So this is no more than like a literal GitHub fork of Bitcoin. That started a completely separate network, and there was a lot of history that's shared with
after Bitcoin was created. There was a period where a lot of new projects were created, Dash being one of them, that kind of started with that code as like the base, but then started to create new coins, and then Ethereum ended up like really blowing up. There's a whole bunch of other ones that came out a couple of years right before that.
Yep. Okay. And Dash was one of the first of that generation in 2014 era forks of Bitcoin. It was actually live, I think, even before it was live. I think before Ethereum even. I may be wrong with that, but it was one of the first ones.
2014, they would have been developing it, but like that's when the paper I think came out. But 2015 is when it really launched.
Okay. Yeah. And one other thing that I should probably mention that is important distinction between so it's most similar to Bitcoin or Litecoin, but one thing that's different about those is that in Dash, one of the first things that we developed was this concept of a master node, which is just a node that also shows that you have 1,000, you own 1,000 Dash, and therefore you're considered. Yeah, so you're going to be running different services on top of the blockchain. So one of those services was one of our flagship features, which was called private send, and then another one was instant send. So those two features, where instead of a blockchain needing to wait for, let's say, 10 minutes to confirm a block of transactions as confirmed, and the merchant can trust that these coins aren't going to be double spent. Bitcoin, you'd need to wait like 10 minutes or so to get that block confirmation. One of the technologies that Dash has separately is that we have this concept of instant finality, where transactions are considered secure after about 1 to 2 seconds instead of 10 minutes. And that is because of this concept of masternodes, which is very similar to the concept of proof of stake, where if you can show that you are a participant that has a large stake in the network, meaning that one Dash, then there's certain trust assumptions that come along with that.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get started here. I already have Node 20 on my machine, so I just copy pasted the instructions. So this is gonna init a new Node.js project using ESM modules, and it's installing Dash, which I don't know if that's the SDK or what it is, but we'll see once we're done installing here. It should go pretty quick. I have a fast internet connection. Okay, so let's go to, I'm already in there. So let's do
now
this.
We own your whole machine.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So there's nothing in here really right now. We just have the package JSON and the node module. So I'm just going to keep moving on. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just going to run npx git ignore node. This will just put all the default node stuff. So I don't know if you want to update the tutorial, Anthony.
Yeah. What can you show me the git ignore that creates real quick?
Yeah. It'll here. So it puts in like if you PM
all this crap which you don't need, but it's just simple, just doing a single step.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, now we got to go and create some scripts here. So let me just close this. I'm just gonna make my editor a little bigger and make the side. Okay, that's a little tiny. You know what? I'll go half. Let's do that. I think I went too far. Okay, hold on a sec here. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, and there's copy paste buttons on the top right at the code blocks.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, let's go in the package JSON. Let me know if you can see that. Okay, scripts.
Looks pretty good to me. Yeah.
Okay. All right, there. Malformed. Oh, this is not necessary. There. Okay.
You got one at the top too.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's save that. Okay. So these are just some scripts that we'll need at some point. So creating contracts, registering them, etc. Okay. So we need to initialize the Dash client. So let's go back to the terminal. Let's go. Oh yeah, I can just copy it. That's why this will go faster. Copy. All right. So we created API and scripts folders. We've got some client in there, and we've got a key for a network for the test net, it sounds like. Okay, let's keep moving. All right, so let's close this and let's go into API client. And okay, so we're just going to grab here, copy that in. So this looks like, okay, we're saying import. So we're going to, the Dash client's going to hit the test network. And then there's some wallet. Offline mode is true. I'm not sure what the I can't say it. Johnny Mnemonic. There we go.
Hey,
now
good
I
movie.
can say it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna see what it says here briefly. We haven't created a wallet yet, so the Johnny Mnemonic. There we go. That's the only way I can say it.
Just drop that M off.
Phenomena.
There's no
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you're gonna say it again, and I'm still not gonna do it. All right, so we set that to null to indicate we want a new wallet to be generated. Okay, cool. And then we'll get an address that will fill in where the null is. Okay. Offline, so we don't want to sync to the chain for some reason yet. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna make a note of that. Just verbally, that we really should change that. I hate the word mnemonic. It doesn't describe anything useful. That just needs to be seed phrase. Don't you agree?
Okay.
It just needs to be.
I propose Johnny
even more specific.
Mnemonic.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Nick, could you refresh the blog? So just push that. Fix one slight thing. So you're good. Keep going.
Cool. All right, we're live editing here, folks.
Nice.
Okay, cool.
Updates.
All right, so we've got a script here that we're gonna probably put some code in for creating a wallet. Let's come back here. Okay, so get the wallet account, get our wallet, export the seed phrase, and then get unused address to create a new address. Okay, I'm not sure why we need to do that yet, but okay, we'll find out as I go along. Okay, gonna keep moving on here. Okay, so now we need to run the script. All right, so npm run create a wallet. Okay. All right. So here, let me open this up a bit bigger. Okay, so it got me a wallet address and it gave me a seed phrase, which is, I guess that's for my recovery if I lose my wallet. Is that what that is exactly?
So you want to put this in your .env, and you're going to do this throughout as every time it spits out environment variables for you.
Yeah.
So yes, to answer the question, that those 12 words are your wallet essentially. They
Okay.
12 words hold the keys to the kingdom in terms of they hold your they derive your private keys. The 12 words are used to derive your private keys, which is what holds your funds.
Okay. And I'm not going to worry about it right now because we're just in a test net, and this is not going to be used later. So I'm just saying that because if people ever do a live stream and they're putting their real credentials, do not show them. That's the only reason I'm bringing that up. Side note, I have done that. Okay, so so we got our environment variables that I pasted into the .env file. Okay, so now we got oh yeah, that's right. I remember faucet now. Okay, so so we need to put in some test funds into our wallet. So I got to search for my wallet. So I got to go to, is the address, oh yeah, that testnet faucet. So go there. I am not a robot. Enter your Dash address
in a
here.
whole bunch.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Good to see CAPTCHA's alive and well. Okay. All right. I can toggle this. Okay. Get my address. Okay. Promo code. I do not have one. All right. Okay. Getting coins. I can't tell if it's processing it or not, or if that's just an effect on the button. Oh, I pressed it again. So, okay. Oh yeah, it's processing up top. I can see. Okay.
Yeah, the Dash faucet is a terrible experience. So we'll probably fix this. This is
okay.
Hey, it broke. That means it worked.
Okay, is that what it means? Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So, well, you're aware of that, I guess. So, but yeah. So it looks like I have gotten some cash. So I have to go to the Dash Block Explorer now and look up my wallet.
So he made a Russian comment, and I didn't know what he was saying, so I put it through a translator. And what he was saying is, "I'm gonna watch this tomorrow with the translator." We finally live in the future where everyone can speak the same language, guys.
I thought for sure it was some kind of profanity, but that he knew he could get away with.
That happened to me on a live stream. Somebody wasn't speaking English, and I'm like, I was like, I'll go to Google Translate live on my stream, and it was like, nope. Not that my stream's for kids or anything.
I screenshotted his comment, gave it to ChatGPT, and said, "Translate this." That's how I did it.
So while this is going on, I put my wallet address in there, and it's loading it.
Yeah, I'm seeing that, and
this is not the link you gave me, Ryan, because I don't necessarily want to put that link in the blog post if that's going to be how is that always going to be the one that we need to use for the rest of testnet, I guess. And can you send me that link?
I can
again?
Refresh it.
I'll send you the link again, Anthony. I think we should have that link in the blog post.
Okay.
So
I'll open it again. Open link in split view. Let's do that. Okay. So let's paste in my wallet address again. I know test nets are, like any dev environment, are typically slower.
We should just skip this part because this is just
we'll assume it's in there.
Whether you got the money, let's just assume it's there and keep going and not worry about it for now.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna assume I own tons and tons of cash now. Okay. Let's close all this. Okay. All right. Click on the transaction. Okay. Well, I don't. That's part of just checking if I got the funds, right? Okay.
Yeah. We should actually make sure that you did get the funds. I just sent the link to a different Explorer, Anthony. So check that. And
is it okay to open that on the stream? Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Private chat.
Just check it. Just making sure.
We definitely need to. we shouldn't have to specify the port, so we'll have to.
Okay.
We'll just
.env. Cool. Okay, so here we go. So there was 3 transactions. So here, wait. You can also click on the plus symbol. And okay, so it looks like I got some Dash, and there's 3 confirmations, and I'm now the proud owner of 3.5 something Dash. Okay, so we're good.
Okay, I just pushed the change with the link.
Cool. All right, I'll keep moving along here. Okay. So now we need to.
You could have both. You could keep both links in there if you wanted to. If you wanted to figure out a way to phrase that.
Yeah, because the first time I did this, it worked. That's why the screenshots are there. So I'm just not sure what happened.
Okay. All right. So I need to bring in my okay, from process.env, and let's replace the null. Always good to use environment variables. Okay, cool. And then I'll add this. And I don't need the offline, it looks like. Okay. What's the unsafe options skip synchronization before height? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, so that is, instead of downloading the whole blockchain and syncing it from the Genesis block 0, it just starts syncing from a later height, which is perfectly fine on testnet. And I think that there's something in the works to where we might not need that option in the future anyway.
Okay,
it's perfectly safe here, but not safe on a mainnet potentially.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're importing the API client here. I'm creating identity. View on platform block explorer. Okay, that's just console logging. And then something went wrong and then disconnect, so we don't have a memory leak, I guess. Okay, and then it calls create identity. Okay, so now we need to run the script that's associated to this. Let's go ahead, copy paste. All right. Okay, so let's double check here. Maybe I didn't do an environment variable properly or something. Let's see.
Oh, okay. Let's first check to see if we got the right version of the SDK, because we ran into that issue yesterday, and I'm not sure if you've
it,
Anthony.
Okay, let's check. Let's go to dependencies. So it's Dash. This version, I can paste it in the chat here. Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's go back and see what that error was.
Okay. Okay, so range error. The value of offset is out of range. I'm guessing it's reading some kind of array. It looks like it's reading a uint array, and it's going out of the bounds for some reason. Should I double check?
Let's just try it again. Try to run it again.
Okay.
Okay. So Anthony, I do know. Did this version of the SDK work last time in the end, or was it a different version? Because I know that testnet is running
this. So when we did this. So when we did this on Monday, it worked for me and it didn't work for Monarch. We did it the same day. We were both using the same version of the dependency.
Okay. I'll try to
one broke and one didn't.
Okay.
Let's try to change it to 12, dev 12, the SDK to dev 12 instead.
Okay.
Just because I think the network is running dev 12, even though there's an updated SDK. Testnet itself isn't running dev 12 yet.
But do the SDKs and the testnet's versions run in parallel? Are they related to each other at all?
I don't know, because this isn't my product. This is Dash Group's
probably
product.
Not. I would guess.
Okay, so
I would think that it should work with any version of a 1.0, but we're not in semantic versioning at this point yet because we're still in development. So,
okay. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Nikki T, I'm going to send you some keys, and you are going to give them a try.
Okay.
So we go. Where was that originally?
Also, this isn't a bad thing. It's a live stream where, we're debugging. It's all good.
There we go.
Well, it is a bad thing, which I'm looking into right now to see if there's any known issues on testnet right now. But
so Nick, go off screen and go into our Discord and grab all the.
Okay. And I'll put that in my .env, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to stop sharing my screen for a sec?
Well, if it's whether you care about sharing your Discord, like we have a shared group message where I send it just because it's good. If you copy paste it through the private chat, it does it all in one line. So the keys themselves don't really need to be private. It's more if you want to keep your Discord private. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. If it doesn't matter that I share them on screen, I'll just put my editor back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. No, nothing to hide in my Discord, but yeah, might as well keep it separate. So, okay, I'll just keep that out.
Yeah, so these are keys. So now you should have an identity, and actually comment out document ID, contract ID, and give yourself a new label with your own name.
Okay. Nikki T. 05. All right.
My man. Cool. And then let's skip create identity and go to retrieve identity and see if we can retrieve the identity with these keys I just gave you.
Okay. Should I stay on dev 12? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just reinstall. Okay.
And I would kill your whole package lock JSON and your node modules folder, fully delete them, and then rerun once you're on the new version.
Yeah, I trashed node modules, but I'll trash it again. Clear. NI is just my alias for npm install. All right, cool. All right. Okay, so like you said, Ryan, that's not expected, obviously, but yeah, you're looking into it. So, okay, so we're under the assumption that my identity was created fine now, and I don't need to put in an identity ID or anything because we've done all that, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So create identity. Okay. So retrieve identities, right? Okay. Cool.
You'll notice a CRUD theme as we go throughout this tutorial.
Yeah. Okay. Let's pop this in. All right. So this is going to, if I just look at this, okay. So it's just getting the identities from my wallet. And okay. All right, cool. And then we'll run the script. Okay, so, all right. Deprecation warnings, that's just Node.js, nothing to do with Dash. Okay, so it's retrieving things. Got the flashing cursor there. And I should see a similar output.
A promising sign. This is good.
And I should see something like this output, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, no, it still broke.
Okay, so let's just see what the error message is. Let me just
max retries is what we got yesterday.
Okay. Okay, so max retries reached 12. Okay, so should I try it again?
Sure.
Okay. And when it's doing the retries, that's because the network is potentially busy, or?
Well, we're trying to contact the masternode network, the network, the testnet network, obviously, and it's obviously trying to do something many times. I'm not really sure what the issue is here. I've note, and we'll see if anyone gets back with us. But yeah, just general instability issues right now. We may have to this is what got us around to the error last time, right, Anthony? We tried credentials, and then that worked for us.
So yeah, so okay, so it's just retries still. Okay. gRPC transport error. Okay, cool. So at this point, should I retry again, or what do you suggest?
Let's see here. We may have to just call it a day on this one, because I think a lot of stuff.
How can we run our own local test node? That is the only way we're going to get around this.
Yeah, and that involves like setting up our own. That's pretty involved. Setting up your own internal network.
Right, but you guys stick it in a Docker container, just give you something that can give you a response back.
Yeah, so we have like Dashmate that can help with that.
Dashmate.
Okay. I would be. We can try it, but we might end up having.
We should do that right now. Let's do it. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't mind if you want to. Yeah, I'll need you to guide me, obviously, but.
Yeah, we can give it a try. I'd be curious to see if you just Nick, part of this is testing our own documentation as well. So let's say that you're a developer, you're interested in Dash platform, and you want to just give it a try. Let's see if you can find out how to do that by starting with Google or whatever search engine you use.
Try Dash crypto.
And hopefully you'll eventually get to, the one hint that I'll give you, I guess, is that there is a tool called Dashmate that lets you set up local development environment that's not a test net. It's like literally a local development environment.
All right, let's.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is what is needed. So,
okay. So here, boom, 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 boom. Okay, so all right. So this is just showing
design our Docker containers. That's what I was saying. Stick it in a Docker container. Great.
Yeah,
that was right.
Okay. So detailed, just all available features.
Can you bump up your Zoom a bit more?
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Is that okay, or I can go bigger?
One more would be even better. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I can go to the docs here, and so it's on GitHub, obviously, because there's links to open issues and stuff. Okay, let's zoom this in. Okay, that didn't take me to Dashmate documentation. Hold on a sec.
Let's look at that diagram real quick, just as a review of something that I already mentioned. Scroll up if you can, or maybe you can zoom out one.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the overall architecture of. Looks like this is just a node itself. These are the different components. That's probably a little bit too detailed. That's more deep. I thought this was the 2 blockchain image, but
okay.
So let's keep going and just keep going on your journey to figuring out how to set up a development environment to test this stuff based on our documentation. And one thing I'll note while you're doing that is, one of the pros and cons of decentralization. Pros, obviously, it's a path to security and whatnot. But one of the cons is that, especially after having done this for 10 years, we do have a bit of fragmented documentation. So I'm not sure
Nick.
It is on this one, but
there's a link to the README. Just go down a little bit. It specifically says the detailed README. This is what you want.
Okay, here. All right, so this is Dashmate open source.
And then scroll down, click to where it migrated to the correct one you want.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'd suggest updating the docs to here.
Yep.
Okay, so all right, so this is Dashmate. Okay, let's go see here. Let's get set up, install. All right. Okay. Docker.
You got Docker
yes.
Desktop, right?
Yeah, I just gotta fire it up.
Of course you do. You're a real dev.
Okay, got Node. That's the right version. All right, so we're gonna install Dashmate globally. Let that go, and then okay, I'll update to get latest patches. But I'm assuming if I'm just installing it now, it should be up to date. Let's see here. Can let that go. Okay. Dashmate setup. Okay. I'll just let this finish installing.
So those are the services that one of these nodes that's operating the Dash platform overall package. It will set up all those different services as Docker containers.
Okay. Okay, I don't have a config. Okay, so hold on a sec. I've installed it. I don't need to stop it yet because I don't have a config. So I have to, let's see here. Okay, post for Linux. No, I'm not a Linux installation unless it means like Mac as well. But let me check. No. Okay. All right, so that's been installed. The update command is quickly.
There's a configure node section.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. Dashmate config main. Okay, so I'm gonna want to configure a testnet, I imagine. So Dashmate config. Or do I want a?
We wanted to go with local.
Yeah, I was okay.
It was testnet that was the problem here.
Okay. Did I do that right?
Config. It's like when you're developing as serverless and you always got to deploy your AWS Lambda functions, but imagine AWS is just down 2/3 of the day. That's what it's like.
Okay. This gave. Hold on a sec. I thought this was an error, but this is actually a config it generated, I think.
This is some sweet Dash stuff right here.
Okay, so it generated a local config, it looks like. I don't know if... Okay, let me go back to the docs.
You're off to the races, buddy.
All right. And then Dashmate start. I'm assuming I have to do Dashmate start with passing the config, or does it just know that?
So what's just especially fun about this is that Nick is doing this for the first time, and me and Ryan have never done this.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to see if this works. I'm guessing I'm going to have to pass the config, but maybe, okay, default config not set. So let's do this. Oh, wait. You can also use the config option or set the default Dashmate config default. So let's do that just so I don't have to keep doing the same thing over. With name undefined is not present. Okay, what if I do... Is that it? Nope. Okay, I'm not sure what. Let's keep moving. Let's do local.
Configure set is...
Oh, I meant to do start, sorry.
And also, Dashmate config set sets the config option. I don't know what that means.
Set. Okay, maybe that'll do local. Let's see here. Dashmate config set local. Set config option. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I think that's for like particular values in the config, maybe.
Okay. I see. Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna keep going on. So let's go back to start. And dash config local. Okay, external option is not set in local config. All right, so let's go config, or actually, I'm not even really sure where the Dashmate config is because it's a global thing. Let's see here. Config value. You can modify. You know what? Here we go. Hold on a sec. No, I don't want to install it lately. Here, let's just go. Dash mate, a tool for Dash cryptocurrency is giving. I'll zoom this in. Sorry. Oh, and I lost my prompt. Dash mate, Dash tool for crypto is giving this error.
I think we actually might have wanted to do testnet and not local. I'm going to try running that in parallel while you're doing what you're doing.
Okay. Look at the Dash meter.
It depends if it depends if the problem is on our client side or if it's on the network side, the server side, chain side. But yeah, that's a good test to do, Anthony. If you can get that up in parallel.
What's the reason for requiring an external IP if I'm running this locally?
That's a good question. Is it so? My main question for you is, well, what we started on was, okay, the premise is you're an interested developer, you want to work on Dash Platform, you want to try that out. I gave you the hint of Dashmate, but does the documentation that you landed on give you context about what it's doing for you, and if this is the right path? So I'm just curious. This is more documentation testing than anything.
Yeah. Here, well, I'm gonna assume you didn't mention Dash before. Dash crypto install locally. Okay. Okay, so no, that's not what I want. I want developer environment. Dash crypto platform.
Probably want to say Dash Platform because that's like right together.
All right, Dash for Python. Oh, and I'll say, okay. You know what? I'll just go to, that's not the same Dash. I think I'm gonna have to put crypto. Plotly's a JavaScript plotting library. Okay, we don't want to do
that. We should try the compose command.
Docker compose or Dash make compose.
So there's a Docker compose section. So here, try just running this command that I just put in private chat.
Okay. I guess one question I had is I don't even know where the config file is because I'm assuming it's in my like dev what happened there? Let's try that again. Okay, output file.env.testnet. So code.env.testnet.
Let's see, -g.conf or config.toml.
This generated it, but this is in my actual project. Like, I imagine that's not where I want this, or do I? I guess in terms of your initial question, though, Ryan, it's not obvious to me right away how to get set up locally. I'm trying to figure out the best way to find it on. I know Anthony's trying to guide me, but because we don't want to do master node setup, we want to do local or developer.
Yeah, we'll just get you to the right place. Aside from Google, so go to docs.dash.org and then go from there. I was just curious on I want to put myself in the position of a developer that doesn't have, that only has a search engine to work with, but.
Yeah, cool. All right, so let's see here.
And then you want to go to platform docs.
Okay. Okay, we won't do the, well, I can read the intro real quick to see about external IP maybe, but okay, that's not in there. Okay, well, I won't read through the intro because you kind of explained it. Basics of building, platform.
So just so you know, if you scroll up to the tutorial, if you click in there, that's what we're trying. That's Anthony's document is basically a better version of this that is kind of expanded and has better output from the code and whatnot, so that you can put things in environment variables. But it's based on this. So I'd like to see if this does a good enough explanation to give you the content you need to get started.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll start fresh here.
Make sure you have your Docker set up and try running npx dashmate setup testnet. See what happens.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
npx dashmate. What did you say? Docker setup?
Setup testnet. Just setup and then testnet. Yep.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay. So I don't want to set up a master node, I'm assuming, or do I?
No. Well, I'm wondering if this it's supposed to set up what you need in order to run in order to run the local network. But it looks like what we're doing here, Anthony, is you're asking him to try to set up so that it can connect with testnet instead of a local network. Is that where you're going down?
Well, as long as we're connected to it in some sense, then we could talk to it. So this, to me, I think is what we want, because we're trying to connect to testnet in general. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and so you're assuming, Anthony, that the error that we got was because our client wasn't set up right, but that the network might be fine. So that's fine.
Yeah, so it's just, yeah, I think the issue is just there's some sort of latency problem that triggers something, so it just doesn't last long enough and then errors out. It's just I'm not really sure, but it's been happening consistently for many months, and it throws different errors every time, but it always happens on the same command, and it's always not based on the code, because the same code is not changed for the 3 months that we've done this. This code is literally every single line of code is not changed one bit.
Yeah, Anthony, are you able to get past this step on your side? I'm just curious.
I was on Monday. I didn't run a tutorial
you want
today.
Do you want to try to run that today, right now, while we're working?
All right, let's do it. Well, let's try and set up one of these nodes and see what happens.
Okay. Well,
I'm the CLI. We're here.
Yeah.
Pick
well,
one.
I'm
see what happens.
Well, it defaulted to master node, so if this was me the first time using it, I would press enter because it's a default. So I'm assuming it's the recommended. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But is it make sense to do master node, Ryan?
Let's see. What action did you perform before getting to this menu?
I ran just set up testnet from Dashmate.
Okay. I mean, I don't really know, honestly, because this
doesn't do master node. Just do master node.
All right. Hashtag YOLO. Let's do it.
Well, you'll need 1,000 Dash for that, though, and we don't have that in there.
Oh, I thought it said it populates it with 1,000, or is that not the case?
Oh, maybe it doesn't.
Well, let's see what happens.
It says what? Oh, it just okay. It
Try
doesn't
evolution
say
full node or full node. Either the ones that don't have collateral next to them.
Okay. All right. Enter. Okay, I don't know what the node key is. That's the unique identifier for it. Do I guess take the default here?
Take the default, yeah.
Provide a key or a new key will be created for you. Yeah.
Okay. External IP address. Okay. Some peer-to-peer stuff. How do you want to configure SSL? I'm assuming 0 SSL is kind of like
SSL, yeah.
It's like whatchamacallit. Enter 0. I don't have an API key. Okay, I need an API key.
Oh, well, we don't. Yeah, so what this is doing for you, the Dashmate right now, is Dashmate in this context, like the command that you ran is trying to set up a node on the network, but that's not what we were trying to accomplish earlier. What we were trying to accomplish earlier is to connect to the network to do Dash platform stuffs, not make a node to be part of the network. So that we were asking you to do two separate things, Nick.
Well, this is what I was trying to do the whole time, is get a node connected to the network. However it is that needs to be done, because if you're just running locally, but you're still not connected to the network, then the problem is not solved. So,
hold on a sec.
Well, I think Anthony, if you could run through the tutorial to the step.
I'm doing it right now.
If you get the same error, then I'm going to say I'm calling the audible and saying we're done trying. Today.
Do you want to share your screen, Anthony, while you do it?
Just give me just 1 second. I'll know very quickly whether it's gonna work or not. Just give me 2 minutes.
And I'm gonna just YOLO and try and create an identity again.
Sure, yeah, because one of the things that it's doing under the hood is it's contacting a random node on the test net, and it's connecting to it, and it's then doing commands with that random Evo node is what they're called. And if some of those nodes, like some nodes work and some nodes don't sometimes. So sometimes, like, that's why I'm asking Anthony to do it again, because
the command is running right now. We'll know in 10 to 20 seconds.
Is bad.
Okay, so so I got the error again. So we retried 12 times. I'm not sure what unimplemented is, but there's a gRPC transport error.
Runs in my thing first. Skipped a step.
I guess questions while Anthony's just doing that, Ryan, is, so you were saying like some of the nodes might not work. Is there I'm wondering, just kind of spitballing here, is there a way to kind of like do kind of like a pre-flight check to say, like, is this node available?
That's supposed to all work with the SDK itself. That's supposed to already work. So I'm not a developer of this product specifically, especially, let alone in practice much at all. So I wouldn't be able to like troubleshoot this specific issue. I just know that it's already supposed to be like the retries is already supposed to handle that kind of an issue where you are connecting to a bad node and it's not responsive or whatever. It's supposed to try the node.
Okay.
All right. I got my faucet funds and it didn't crash this time, which is nice.
I'm
running right now.
Oops.
And we may, like, as a last ditch effort, maybe we could start from scratch again on your side.
Okay. Yeah.
And then maybe because there may be something in your cache or something that's saying, okay, we're always going to try this node now. But if you blew that away and started from scratch, then maybe we.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'm just running the Node.js debugger to see if if I hit a breakpoint somewhere.
I mean, the error is server side, so.
Yeah, no, I know.
Hey, all right. I was able to create an identity ID. So try just running your reset your API client file to null for your mnemonic, and then run the create wallet command again. And then the problem is you won't be able to get faucet funds. Actually, you should use the wallet mnemonic that I just created.
Yeah, that's a better idea, Anthony. Let's do that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna put these in the.
We don't want to go through all the testnet faucet stuff again.
See if you can create an identity with this. See what happens. So just take the wallet address mnemonic and then keep your network environment variable, but comment out everything else except those three.
Yeah. I got all kinds in here now. All right, let's just move this down here. Boom. Okay, all right.
Sure they're on separate lines.
Yeah, it should be. Oh, that one isn't. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's good. Steak and
So
pumpkins. That's good.
See if you can
All right.
create an identity now. 'Cause I just did. So and then we can try again running through the retrieve identity with the identity ID if you're not able to create your own.
Okay.
So Anthony, in your logs, does it show what node you connected to? IP address.
Oh,
go to your client real quick.
Yeah, no, it's because that was just set to offline true before.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Stuff,
So oh yeah, you didn't put your environment variable back in for the mnemonic. Don't set offline true. Get rid of that.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Gotcha.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's
cool.
perfect. Yeah.
Cool. So let's create an identity. We like to see flashing cursors. We like it.
But not for too long.
Yeah.
No, this one takes a solid 10 to 20 seconds.
Okay.
This is one where like you really have to stop and think about why you're a developer and if this is really what you want to be doing with your time. And then it works. Exactly. You're like, yes, or it breaks again. You're like, God damn it.
I'm questioning all my life choices right now. Okay, so same error. So it's possible like Ryan. Yeah.
Well, that's crazy. So the host is 52.12.176.90.
Let's check node versions. I'm on node 20.14. What are you on?
20.11. I can update nvm install LTS.
Anthony, what do your docs say? The tutorial say is the minimum
20 and up. I don't think this is gonna be it, but it's worth a try.
Yeah, nvm. Whatever. Okay. Node dash
we're on the same version now, so try it again.
Okay. Trash node modules. Okay.
Trash. That's a command I haven't seen. Is that?
It's less destructive than rm remove. It just basically goes to your recycle bin, at least on a Mac. For node modules, probably not a good idea, but like sometimes when you accidentally delete something, most of my stuff's in Git anyways normally. So, but okay, so we're on node 20.14, reinstalled the dependencies, and let's run npm run create identity again.
And if this doesn't work, let's take this identity. I just put the environment variable in the private chat, and then we'll try retrieve identity. And if that breaks, then we'll call it.
Okay. We can. I'll pour one out if I need to.
Because that means it's something that has to do with just either our internet connections or because you're on a Mac, right?
I'm on a Mac, but I have gigabit upload download. I'm on a very fast connection, so I don't think
slow. It's that something is set wrong. So, I mean, I'm just so curious why that would happen. Why it would be broken on yours and not on mine. This is the same thing with Monarch because it was broken on Monarch, but it wasn't broken on mine last time. Also, we're all running on the same code and on the same versions of the dependencies, so it's completely outside of our control.
Yeah, but like there are differences because it's not, since you're not running in literally the same environment, there's something clearly different.
But it's a Mac environment running the same version of Node, so it's like that's about as close as you can get.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But what I mean is we're not truly literally the same environment. That's what I mean. Like maybe there's something on my machine. I don't know. But regardless, like so it's given the error. So what what were you suggesting, Anthony?
So go to the private chat, grab the identity ID and put that in your .env and then run the retrieve identities command.
Okay.
Let me actually also double check that I can do that command.
All right. And then do I have to go into here to put, oh no, that's already set. Okay, never mind. Okay. All right. So now I'm running I don't need to create identity now. I have one.
Yeah, I gave you the identity. Yep.
So we're just going to retrieve identity now?
That's the goal.
Okay. All right. As I look at the flashing dash while I question all my life choices. Okay.
So give us your take on Dash so far, Nick.
Yeah. No, I definitely have empathy for what's going on here. I'm working on software. Like it's frustrating when things aren't working, obviously, but okay.
Okay, so real quick, just so people know we're not lying, I'm going to show my screen real quick. So this is what
go ahead.
with the same environment variables when I run it is you get back the retrieved identities ID is this guy right here with this balance.
Okay, cool. Did you want to continue through on yours, or did you just want to call it? I'm fine either way.
We're done.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it a day today.
Okay.
And we'll try to figure out. We'll try to get to the bottom of this non-deterministic error issue because
it's very deterministic. It happened at the exact same point where it happened with Monarch. That's as deterministic as it gets.
Yeah, but I know what you mean though.
Yeah, I'm just curious why we can't get a straight answer. Why it always breaks on this specific point.
Yeah, like obviously I know this is not how you wanted the tutorial to go, but
this is what I thought was gonna happen. But I was fully expecting this to happen, actually. Same with Monarch.
But on the plus side, like it's been replicated consistently now, so now there's something you can go back to the devs to see, and I'm not saying it'll be an easy fix. I have no idea, but if you're up for it, whenever it does get sorted, I'm happy to come back on and jump through
we'll have
the tutorial again.
We'll have a Dash mate instructions and quick start for you when you're back. I'll work that out.
I think that'd be great. We'll give this some time, and then we'll have you back. Obviously, we're happy that you help us either way because it's good feedback, right? So part of the whole purpose of this, even the live stream part of it is to just kind of go through what other developers go through when they're dealing with the product here. And like it shows, like we are still kind of in development. It's not even at alpha stage yet. So we expect some of this to happen, but I did want to reach out to other developers just to kind of like get the process going a little further, and introducing it into the real world and not just the Dash bubble. For worse. For sure.
So one thing I'd suggest is like I know you're looking to improve the documentation. I think that would be a great opportunity for people interested in this ecosystem to contribute to the project by helping update the documentation potentially. Throwing that out there.
Yeah, and we've got it all on screen, so we kind of know where the dead links were, and we can look back on that and then make some improvements there. So appreciate that. Okay. And any other follow-up questions that you had, Nick, before you take off today, and we'll probably chat offline for a little bit afterwards as well for some logistics. But
nothing at the moment, but I am, as a dev, I'm just curious to see this play out. So I want to finish the tutorials.
Good.
So I'm excited to do it next time.
Whetted your appetite, at least.
All the interesting stuff happens right after this point, which is why it's so frustrating. This is where it breaks, because once you get your ID, then you can actually create stuff on the chain.
Let me actually, now that you say that, I did want to kind of give the high level purpose of what this is all about, because I didn't really go into that. Just for your own benefit, Nick, and anybody who might be watching. The whole purpose behind Dash Platform is a lot of blockchains. They're focusing on what are called smart contracts, and that's basically where you have a network of node operators that are running their nodes, and each of those nodes is then running this Ethereum virtual machine as part of their node. And what that does is, when somebody makes a request like an RPC command and calls into one of the functions on this server side, which is the chain side blockchain, then the nodes then run that execution, and they're doing execution on a blockchain. And one of the differences that we're doing here in Dash is we're just saying we're going to actually kind of flip the script and say, instead of running execution on the blockchain, we're going to store data on the blockchain, and execution can happen elsewhere. but we're going to optimize to storing cryptographically proven and secure data on the blockchain. And again, this is secondary payments chain. So just the way to think about this from the developer's standpoint is, let's say that you have an application and you want you want data storage that anybody else can access and interact with. That's what the purpose is here. So it's kind of like a decentralized database that you don't have to sign up to. So you could think of it as a cloud database where instead of, I don't know, you tell me, do you have any cloud databases of choice that you typically reach for when you're making an application?
There's some, like Railway has some good offerings. I'm typically doing more front end right now, so
single page applications.
Single page applications, but also just web development in general. But yeah, typically looking at more serverless databases. But like there's a bunch out there. There's like Neon database. They're all like a lot of Postgres options, I guess, basically.
Yeah, and so this is something like a cloud database, but instead of a corporation running it, it's just a network of operators that are running it. That has its pros and cons. Obviously, we saw the cons today where the network just wasn't responding well, but that's a thing that we need to get ironed out before we go live net, obviously. But in the end, it'll allow application developers to have a database in the cloud, but you don't have to register or anything like that. All you have to do is pay a very minimal amount of Dash to do that data storage. And the first step to doing that is creating that identity so that you can then pay with your identity and have that reference to your your identity is basically what you would. The analogy would be a username on a corporate on a corporation.
So right now, this is like the login form is broken.
Yeah, basically the login form. The cloud.
Yeah.
Centralized cloud storage cloud is the login is broken right now. But that's the idea is once you get past that, instead of registering with a corporation, you just pay money and then you could store what are document database documents instead of like having your own server.
Just think like a MongoDB, it's just on Blob.
And if I was understanding correctly before what you're saying, so like
it's closer to like an Atlas DB, so like a cluster of MongoDB instances that you don't have to operate. That's
and you were saying like obviously the data is stored on the blockchain, obviously, but you were saying it's different in the sense that the smart contracts don't necessarily live on the blockchain and they run on the exterior, but it's just the result of them that just goes to the blockchain.
Their own platform.
Yeah, so we don't have smart contracts, at least not in the first iteration. So all we have is we have.
But it's close enough for what he's asking. He's asking about whether it's on mainnet or if it's on something else, and it's on platform, which is separate from mainnet.
Okay, so because I guess my question is because like
can be testnet.
Okay, I guess my question was more like because I know that blockchains can be slow still, and that's why I was wondering like storing the data is one thing, but if you're doing all the processing to crunch that.
So the way you get around this, and I know because I work for a company that did this for like a year, is that you take the whole history of Dash, stick it in a database, and then when people want to read from it, they are able to do that. So that's one of the ways you can make it super fast. So your reads can be instant. You just cache the whole thing. So the history never changes. That's the point of the blockchain.
Yeah, this is my my old coworkers work on this. A company called StreamFast. It's based out of Montreal, but they're basically indexing blockchains.
That's it. Quick note, index blockchains. That's exactly.
So Anthony, I'm glad you brought that up because that's exactly the problem that we're trying to solve here with Dash Platform. Is exactly the problem that you're saying is that you're saying that when you have a blockchain, you basically have a bunch of unindexed data that then requires companies like you're saying, like Edgio or
it was QuickNode, not Edgio.
QuickNode, and in Ethereum land you have what's that Infura.
There was Alchemy and Infura were the two big ones. QuickNode was the better one though.
But that's a problem, because then you have all of these indexers, and the application developers are directly connecting with the index companies instead of the blockchain. And that's actually a security issue as well as a performance issue, because yes, you get better performance by having a corporation index your blockchain, and then you're querying from the corporation. But that's what we're trying to solve. Is we're trying to say, hey, we're going to have that query, we're going to have that indexing and querying directly from client to blockchain, and cut out the whole RPC index company issue.
That means your chain and the developers who connect to it need to have a similar experience to what they would get. And every time I ever connect to a QuickNode API, it's like I sign up, I get a link, I hit it, and I go. I'm on the blockchain.
You get instant results. Yeah. So we are trying to give that same developer user experience.
And it's a spectrum. That's why you want the ability to do that while still having the ability to run your own node. So it's like, just because you can take that route doesn't mean you have to. So it's like you can trade off a little bit of decentralization for that, and then as you learn more about the network, you eventually like run your own node and do whatever. But I think it's good to have that kind of whole spectrum. It's like you worked at Netlify. It's like you want to have Netlify before you get to straight AWS.
Yeah. And the other thing too, it's kind of ironic because blockchains are all about decentralization, and then essentially the index is centralizing how you access. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's meant to speed it up, but it feels like it kind of diverges away from,
because decentralization comes a trade-off. So you have to give somewhere.
I guess it's not literally all decentralized potentially, but it's more just
what you're saying is exactly correct, Nick. We are trying to solve that problem. It is not an easy problem to solve, but in the end, if we can get the applications to talk directly with one of these master nodes or Evo nodes, same thing, then we're trying to get that same speed that you would get with an indexed company. But with the decentralization of directly communicating with the blockchain. So with that, I think we have kept you a little bit, not over time, but at the back end.
When do you want to come back? Do you want to do the same time next week?
Next week, I'll have to check. I'll check with you after. It's probably okay, but I'll have to check.
If not, we'll find a date around there that works.
Cool.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll end the stream now. We'll take care of some rescheduling logistics afterwards. So stick around with us, Nick, afterwards, and to everybody else who's following along, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Later, everybody.